Hi, I'm LaChelle Adkins, also known as America's Supermom, and I am excited about Go Shop America. This is an opportunity for small business owners to be able to feature their products on TV. So if you are looking for affordable way to distribute your products, and if you're a consumer looking to buy the hottest trends, then I tell you to follow us at Go Shop America. All right, all right. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I know Fridays are kind of like a hectic day. It's the end of the week. I normally don't broadcast on Fridays, but life happens. And, this was a time that worked out for us to come on and talk about some things that we have coming up here with an in-person event. It's a women's empowerment. Look, I want to be young again, y'all. I'm 54. I'm trying to go backwards, okay? It's been that type of week. I feel like I'm going backwards, okay? But anyway, we're just here to just kind of let you know some things that we have coming up. Really excited about this event that we are going to be speaking at. And so it's getting to be the end of the month, y'all. I don't know if y'all are counting down the days, but we are like almost 60 days, maybe 59 or so till Christmas. It's just crazy. Where did the time go?
Yeah,
So
great.
we're really excited to hop on tonight to talk about some things that we have going on. We're not going to keep you long, because it is the weekend. But really excited to be here today. So I am going to allow my co-host to introduce herself. Uh, but just want to begin to let everybody know, because I just get to talking, y'all, don't know who's out there watching. And they're like, who is this lady? Just running her mouth, like I really know who she is.
Mhm.
But I'm LaChelle, also known as America's Supermom. I'm the mother of 15 children, and I'm a mental health strategist. Try to say that 3 times, right? But I really work with executive women, empowering them to really step into their brand and their identity so that they can minimize the stress in their life and shine in the media. So I'm excited to be here with my co hosts, and I'm going to yield the mic to you.
Thank you, LaChelle. And I am Michelle Clarkson, and I am founder of Meaningful Moments of Power. And I am a motivational speaker, confidence, and women's empowerment coach. And I help women to unlock the power that's already inside of them to build unshakable confidence, to learn effective communication skills so they're able to set boundaries, healthy boundaries, and then also to be able to live a life full of purpose. So, really excited to be here tonight and to let everybody know about some of the amazing upcoming things we have coming up.
Well, first, I just want to get started. It's been a crazy week for me. I feel like I'm coming and going all at the same time. So tell us about your week. How's your week been? Are you traveling or, because you're always on the move?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, I am not at home. I am traveling this weekend. I'm actually back in Louisville, Kentucky this weekend. So really excited to be back home. And tomorrow night, I get to go watch my Louisville Cardinals play a football game. So really excited to be back home for the weekend. But yes, as you say, I'm always traveling. Last weekend, Houston. This weekend here. Next weekend, I think I'm going to be home.
I love it. I love it. So give us some tips, because, it's going to be the holidays. Some of us are going to have to travel to family members and things like that. So, what would be some tips that you would give business owners, entrepreneurs, corporate people? It could really be for anybody around travel and, connecting your brand with that.
Yeah. So the one thing that I would say is, of course, you are your brand. So wherever you go, take your brand with you. So if you have upcoming travel that's planned while you're traveling, make sure that if you have an opportunity to connect and collaborate with people, to share your brand, or if you have an opportunity where there's some networking that you can do while you're traveling, but also making sure that as you travel, that you are organized and on top of those appointments and things that you may have, because we're going to blink and the year is going to be up. Everybody's getting busy with things. So, making sure you're staying organized, but wherever you go, spreading your brand, talking about your brand, networking, collaborating with people. It's always about the networking.
I love that. Now, and I meet a lot of people, don't meet a stranger, because I ask them 1,000 questions.
You and me both.
Okay. So what are some tips? And look, I'm asking you, okay, we hadn't practiced any of this, okay? But as we talk, my mind gets to going. But what are some follow-up tips? Because, we meet a lot of people and, you talk about organization. What
Mhm.
are some tips that you would give us for following up with?
Yes. Well, one thing which, is a wonderful tip that I've learned from you is when I am meeting new people, the one thing that I like to do is I like to capture a picture of us. So that when I follow up, because of the fact that you do meet so many people, sometimes you may forget and like get an email and say, who is this Michelle Clarkson? But before even sending a follow-up email, I'll just shoot you a text with the picture and be like, hey, it was so great to connect with you. And then they have that picture. So then from there, that initial follow-up from that text message, if you didn't have an opportunity to get a picture, would be me following up with an email, because I'm assuming 9 times out of 10, I capture some contact information from people. So whether I'm sending you a message on a social media platform or sending you an email, one, just letting you know it was great to meet you and looking forward to stay connected. So the follow-up is so important, and important to do it immediately within 24 to 48 hours after you've made that connection, so that you stay on their mind.
I love that. That is just so good because, many times we meet a lot of people, and if you don't have a system or a process, you just keep collecting names and information, but then never take action on it, And I think showing up, taking action is just half the battle, right?
Absolutely.
There have been so many times, this is a real situation. I was watching a live with someone last week, and they were on video, solo, and so they were just doing their stuff, and we were interacting in the comments, and a lady, the lady who was doing the live was talking about something that I had said, and one of the other ladies in the comments said, oh, I would love for you to be on my show. And I said, well, absolutely. Okay. I don't turn down
Mhm.
nothing but my collar. This is what I
Okay.
tell people all the time, right? So anyway, she sends me the link, and I was on her podcast, on her LinkedIn Live yesterday.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
I
Yeah.
think when you show up, sometimes we just get to, oh, we overthink. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, I got to do this. I got to say this. But if you just simply show up, there's those organic moments that happen before you even know it.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yes.
So, hey, Mary. Mary says that she is at the beginning catching up to 2 times. Okay, so thanks so much, Mary.
Yay.
Yeah, we are talking about an event, the You Within Yourself event. It is a women's empowerment conference that is happening November 14th and 15th in Warner Robins, Georgia. So, this is a weekend event. We're really excited, and I happened to find out about the event last year when I attended, and kept in contact with the founder, the person who's the visionary behind everything. And we kept in contact, and she asked me to be a speaker this year. And so, really excited to talk about topics to empower women and give them strategies to minimize their stress. And we had a speaker drop out. So this is how our co-host comes on the scene. So share with us, how you got to be a speaker, what happened, and what you're going to be talking about.
Okay, awesome. So, like you said, there was a speaker that had dropped out. And so, because of the fact that you were already a speaker for this event, you had let the host know about, hey, I might know some people who might be able to fill in. And she reached out to me. We had a great conversation. And here I am now, one of the speakers for the event, and also going to be doing a workshop around building unshakable confidence. And then also be speaking on a panel. So I'm really excited about it because any opportunity that I get to pour into women or just anyone and provide insight and share my story and motivate people, because having that unshakable confidence is really the key to loving yourself, the key to being able to set boundaries, everything that you need, whether it's something that you're trying to do in your personal or professional life. So I'm just really looking excited to be able to pour into these ladies. I'm really looking forward to the gala. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be a gala, a cowgirl themed gala. So I'm really excited about that, but just really, excited for the opportunity. And then, as I say, it's always about collaborating and networking. But when the host had reached out to me, one of the things that she had said to me in the initial conversation was, well, yes, LaChelle, you had referred me, but she said, I've also been doing some Facebook stalking, and I just love the messages that you put out every day. So that's another thing too about your brand. You are your brand, and you are always representing you, and you never know who's watching. And that's why you always just have to be ready.
I love that, and being able to capture your brand in real time. I think a lot of us kind of get nervous around, oh my gosh, I feel like I might be too much saying stuff. And, people probably want me to be quiet, or I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. So tell us a little bit, because hey, we had the visionary who was scheduled to be here, and we had another speaker, but life happened, y'all. And so it's Friday. It's crazy traffic here in Atlanta area.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not making excuses, but we just being real about stuff. So it's just you and I. So
The
we
shells are
are,
here.
yeah, we're keeping it moving. But
Mhm.
tell everybody about a little bit about your journey around showing up for your brand, what it has done with your Facebook growth, or just in general, what stands out when you talk about, really capturing your brand and the
Mhm.
things that you do.
Yeah. So I would say one thing in capturing my brand and something that's helped me is, one, just putting myself out there, being open and vulnerable, to be able to utilize my social media platforms and let people know about my business, let them know about my journey and how I stepped into the space to be a motivational speaker and a confidence and women's empowerment coach. But then also in using social media platforms, networking and collaborating in um, different capacities, whether it's on Clubhouse or using different platforms, to be able to expand my brand. And then from there, being intentional about the follow ups that I'm making with people that I'm connecting with, and anything that has come my way, whether it's been an opportunity to be on a guest on someone's podcast or participate in an event. Those are things that I have jumped, like, okay, hey, here I am, because, just like you said, things happen. You always have to be ready. But as you're building your brand, you want to be able to give yourself as much exposure and visibility as possible. So staying engaged as many things as you can. And because of those efforts, like, it has really helped me over the past 6 months. Um, I think about my Facebook, where before really focusing on my brand, so to speak, I really use my Facebook just for personal posting and things like that. But when I stepped into the space where I really wanted people to know about what I'm doing, what my vision and purpose is with Meaningful Moments of Power, I started being intentional about posting daily motivational videos. And from doing that, I grew my Facebook following from 522 followers to over 6.3 thousand in a matter of 20 days. So, it's all about being intentional, putting your brand out there, sharing your story, and at the end of the day, just being your authentic self. And if you are your authentic self, and whatever it is that your brand is or your business that you're doing, if you're intentional and you move with purpose, success will always follow.
I love that. That's one of my sayings. I love that. I say that about everything,
Yeah,
but I
because it's so
really mean
true.
it.
Mhm.
I really mean it. And I like how you said about the 20 days. We're on Clubhouse, and we have a journaling room that we do every morning at 6 a.m. And it's think well and journal for 21 days. And that's actually how we started our Clubhouse community, was through a 21-day challenge. And so I like the fact that, you talk about this 20-day journey, because for some people, having a start and an ending to something, or being able to track it, makes more momentum for you, because you
Mhm.
start seeing the progress that's happening and really notice it, right?
Yes.
You're being
Yes.
intentional about it, as what you said.
Mhm.
So, for somebody who's like, okay, I want to get started, I think I can post. What advice would you give them around what to post? How long should it be? Or just whatever comes to mind for you to kind of take someone under their wing if they were to get started. What
Mhm.
advice would you give them?
Yeah. So I think the one of the main things is, like I said, I utilize my Facebook page more so just for personal purposes, which I still do today. However, I promote my brand mixed in there. And so in promoting my brand and gaining new followers who might not know me on a personal level, one of the things that you need to also do is be open to sharing about who you are so that people can get to know you. And one of the ways in doing that is posting content, sharing if you're out at an event. There have been things that I've been able to be a part of, speaking on virtual conferences. Last weekend, I was speaking at an in-person conference. So, being able to capture those moments and post those things about those events that you're engaged in. Also sharing personal things. My son graduated from college in May. So, capturing that journey and putting those things out there, but, giving people something that they can relate to about you as you're sharing about your brand and that they can connect to. And then as you have upcoming events and things like that, utilize your social media platforms to promote those things so that people can tune in and get to see you in action doing whatever it is that, you might be doing. So, just being intentional about being able to capture what you're doing, because one of the things that I've learned about branding is everything is content. This right here is content. Being able to come back and take a clip from this or snap a picture. So, and as you do that and you're building your brand, people begin to connect with you. They get to see what you're doing. And then they also get to see all the things you're involved in. They're like, wow, well, she's busy doing all this, and the third. So it lets them know, well, if I just kind of step into this and start taking little steps, and then before you know it, whatever that end goal is, you're going to look and be like, wow, that happened fast.
That's good. That's good. I
Mhm.
really agree with that, because I think, if we can make the mountain so much bigger, when we keep on focusing on, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, you can just make that gap so much larger to what your destination is, rather than just getting started and figuring
Mhm.
it out as you go.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that really happens, because
Mhm.
if whatever you focus on is the thing that expands and grows. So if you focusing on the excuses, the negativity, the doubt, it's going to get bigger. But if you decide to look the other direction and focus on, this could go right, and then this could go right, it gives you that uh inspiration to just get started.
Yes.
So, we're talking about empowerment. You mentioned empowering women in what you do with your brand. And then this whole focus for this speaking opportunity is for women's empowerment. So, when you think of empowering other people, what is a way that we can do that? I know there's some women that maybe you don't have children, maybe you're in a space where you're a leader on your job, and you're just in these different spaces where leadership is important and empowerment is important. So what tip would you give people around empowerment?
So when I think about empowerment, to your point, as we think about women's empowerment and, the fact that, okay, yes, you're America's supermom, mom of 15 children, to your point, no, every woman may not have a child, but there's something in the journey that you've experienced along your way that someone can relate to. And same thing with me. My focus of helping women build confidence, but it's based around some of the things that I experienced in life as far as being a domestic abuse survivor, having to navigate through a tough divorce, and then also having to navigate my way through my career and build myself up to, have the visibility where I was respected in the workplace and things like that. So when you're able to be transparent and vulnerable with people and share your story of things that you've experienced, people can relate to that. Sometimes I kind of think about it, empowerment as, sometimes when you're in church and the pastor is giving a sermon and you're sitting out there and you feel like he is speaking directly to you and you're like, get out of my video. So it's the same thing with, women's empowerment by being open and sharing your story and what you've gone through and how you've overcome it. There's somebody that's listening to that story and is like, wow, that's me right now. And, she doesn't have to say, this is me, but to herself, she says it. And just by listening to your story and hearing how you overcame whatever it was, that lets her know that I can do it too.
I love that because I'm telling you, that was a game changer for me, because for years I thought the only way people would listen to me is if everything was perfect, right? So I had to
Mhm.
have on the right earrings, I had to have on the right lipstick and the right lighting and all these different things in order for people to hear my message. But it wasn't until I really got transparent about my story that people could relate, and then they can relate to the fact that if it happened for her, then it can happen for me, right?
Mhm. Yes.
That was a tip that I got from a coach one time. He said that, it's good to have motivation, but it's better to inspire people. He said,
Yes.
because when you inspire them, then they believe that it can happen for them and they take action. He says, a lot of times when you have a skill set, or, you're a coach or certain things, people put you on a pedestal. He said, but you don't have to stay on the pedestal. You can come down,
Mhm.
so
Yes.
and I think when you're on a pedestal, you're above the people. They
Mhm.
can't relate to you. You above them. But when you
Mhm.
get down off the pedestal, everybody's on the same level. So
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
was just some great advice.
Hmm. And it's so true, and that what makes things so relatable. It's like, hey, I am walking the same shoes as you do. Like you said, take me off the pedestal. I'm just MC. That's it. MC. Okay. And she's been through some things and she has overcome them. And by sharing those things, like you said, being an inspiration to others. And one thing too about empowerment for the person that's doing the empowering,
Hmm.
the thing that continues to keep you going is when you're sharing your story, then the feedback you get from others when they tell you how inspired, how motivated, and how it pushed them to know that they can do something or it made them step out of their comfort zone and do something. That's also part of the empowerment because you have to feel good that, yes, I am making a difference and making an impact so that you can continue to empower others.
Hmm. That's so good. That's so good. So Mary is just moving and grooving in the comments. I appreciate all your engagement.
So,
She is agreeing with the networking, being intentional. She has gratitude for the daily Substack that she's noticing that I'm doing. She said, track on, we on the let's go train track.
say, let's go.
Staying busy capturing things. I mean, hey, we need her for every video, okay? And
Okay, exactly.
she is
Come on,
putting down
Mary.
what we putting down. Okay, so
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
All right, so we just have a few more minutes to go. So tell everyone a little bit about, what you want to be speaking about. I know you said confidence, but is
Mhm.
there any takeaway that you would add, and what's coming up for you in the next week or so that you might want to share with
Yes.
everybody?
Yes. So yes, I'll be talking about confidence, coupled with self-love because confidence and self-love go hand in hand. And no matter if you've gone through something and haven't experienced anything, but being able to embrace those two things are skill sets that you have that transform your mindset and allow you to get through anything. So, I'll be touching on self love, confidence, and how that also ties into our faith. Because once you build that unshakable confidence, when you have that faith in God and you know that, you aren't anything without Him. So believing in yourself and then knowing that you have Him making everything else happen, then it, just ties everything together. So I'll be talking about that. And then, upcoming, I have the conference that we'll be at next month. And then I'm also getting ready to get started working on my book. So I'm really, really excited about that and putting everything that I put out here to paper. So that is getting ready to be my new baby that I'm getting ready to birth.
I love it. Nothing like accountability, saying it out loud so people can say, so how's that book going?
Okay, exactly. I put it out there, y'all. So follow up and say, has it been published yet? Because it's coming.
I love it. And if you don't know Michelle, she is like, hey, when she says it, it's done. Okay. She is focused on that. So really excited for that part of your journey. And I think that's amazing. So, Mary, we really appreciate you and all of your support. You are just doing amazing in the comments. And next time we're going to have you join us because she has some wonderful insights that she shares every morning with us on Clubhouse. But I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And again, this was just an impromptu scheduled event so that we could talk about, the power in collaboration. We're really excited for Sharon Smith, who is the visionary for this event. I believe this is her third event, and she has a nonprofit, and she is always looking to raise donations and focus on different events, even if she has to create them herself in order to empower women that have overcome a lot of things in their journey, whether it's depression, whether it's domestic violence, all these different things that sometimes can hinder our ability to move forward, right? And so she is doing the intentional work to really help give back and curating a group of us to help in that mission. So we're really excited. We want to give her a shout out and definitely encourage you to follow her on her journey. And we're excited for all the speakers. I mean, I don't know how many speakers there are. What, maybe 15 or so?
Yeah, it's a lot of speakers.
I
Yes,
didn't
it's going to
even
be a
count.
great 2-day event. Yes.
Yes. So we're going to have a lot of speakers pouring into these women and really excited for this gala that is going to be taking place on Saturday. So we do have some tickets available. And I will put the link in the comments. I'm just like, don't even have the link, y'all.
Yes.
But I'll put it in the comments. It's Friday, y'all. You got to
Yes.
give me some grace. But
And thanks for coming and showing up with us. Yes. On a Friday.
amen. Yeah, we appreciate that. And,
Mhm.
I would say, collaboration is my thing. It is, I have learned so much from collaborating because, I was an only child and I had this mindset that if it has to be, it's up to me. And so I just burned the candle at both ends a lot of times trying to do it all by myself. And one day I was in prayer and devotion, and God said to me, this is what I'm hearing. If you believe that Jesus died on the cross for everybody, for the sins of the world, and he had 12 disciples, what makes you think you could do it by yourself? So my whole motto now is like, hey, you're right. I am not doing this alone. Okay. And it didn't end well. Okay. It led me 3 times in the hospital and 13 years of depression. But I think the power of collaboration is so important because it allows you to show up in spite of what's going on in your life. This week, as we were talking before we hit record, it's been a hard week. I had my aunt, she passed away this week. and my son's girlfriend, her mom passed away, and his girlfriend is just 16. And then a good thing is I have a new grandson, right?
Mhm.
So it's a lot of change, a lot of mixed emotions all in one week. And one thing that allows me to still have a smile on my face and to show up is the fact that I collaborate with great people such as Michelle, who's on the stage with me today.
Mhm.
So I feel like when we learn to collaborate, it allows us to take a breather when we need to and continue to show up, or other people can show up for us. Just as the case we mentioned before, one of the speakers had to drop out for issues that were going on in their personal life. And Michelle was able to step up to the plate. So when you collaborate, it's so important for you to keep the momentum going. You may not have to be the one that runs the ball. You might have to sit on the bench for a
Mhm.
couple of plays, okay? While everybody else still keeps the game going. So I
Yeah.
just want to encourage people to remember that, especially as we get closer to the holidays and you're running around trying to get everything on your list, or making food or wrapping gifts, that you take time to realize that you don't have to do it alone. Did you have something else you wanted to say, Michelle?
No, that was wonderful, in a wonderful way, just to close it out, because there is always help and support available, and you don't have to do things alone. So just
Yeah,
get out there and do it, and know there is help available.
I love it. All right. Well, you guys have a phenomenal Friday. Thank you guys so much for your support. Mary, we love you. Thank you so much for all the support you're giving us. And for those of you that have been watching, I can only see the comments on YouTube. These different platforms, you don't know who's responding or whatever. It's crazy. You can't keep up.
Yes. But thank
But
you for tuning in on a
thank you
Friday.
guys, and
Yeah.
share it. If you got some nuggets out of it, share it. We would love for you to do so. So we will see you guys. We'll be on next week. We're having a takeover by Michelle
Don't
Clarkson
forget that.
on the 3rd. Okay, she's
See,
going to be
thank you.
taking over. So
Yes.
y'all need to just get your pen and paper together, because we're going to be taking lots of notes from her and her guests for next week's show on Monday, November the 3rd. So actually, it's not next week.
2
It's the
weeks.
week after that. Yeah.
Yes.
Look at me. I'm
Thank you
trying to
for
run
reminding
this
me. I
time.
forgot all about that in my upcoming things. It's like, yes, take it over the podcast.
It's true. She's got so much going on. You know what I mean? It's hard for her to, if her calendar's not in front of her,
Okay.
we're in trouble. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye,
Yes.
everybody. That was Hi, I'm LaChelle Adkins, also known as America's Supermom, and I am excited about Go Shop America. This is an opportunity for small business owners to be able to feature their products on TV. So if you are looking for an affordable way to distribute your products, and if you're a consumer looking to buy the hottest trends, then I tell you to follow us at Go Shop America.